There are a couple of new and exciting things in this video. First, Atlas is doing some serious work with its upper body by vaulting over that bar. It's not supporting its entire weight with one arm, since it's jumping, but it's doing what looks like some fairly complex balancing and weight management using all four of its limbs at once. Most of what we've seen from Atlas up to this point has been lower body focused, and while the robot has used its arms for forward rolls and stuff, those moves have been simpler than what we're seeing here. Aaron Saunders, Boston Dynamics VP of Engineering, suggested to us earlier this year that the Atlas team would be working on more upper body maneuvers, and it looks like they're now delivering. Good evening. You are listening to another episode of Black Man Into the Wild. I'm blessed to be here with you all tonight, and I'm blessed to have you here with me as well. Tonight, I want to give an update on Boston Dynamics. Now, we did take a look at the company earlier this year. However, when we did, we were focused on their robot Stretch, which again they designed and optimized for completing repetitive tasks in warehouses. This latest story is about their Atlas robot, and the article comes from Spectrum, titled, "Atlas Shows Most Impressive Parkour Skills We've Ever Seen. Significant Advancements in Dynamic Humanoid Robots." But before we get started, if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share with your friends if you like what you hear. The second big new thing is that Atlas is now leveraging perception much more heavily, according to Scott Kuindersma, the Atlas team lead at Boston Dynamics, who wrote about it in a blog post. Atlas's moves are driven by perception now, and they weren't back then, Kuindersma explains. For example, the previous floor routine and dance videos were about capturing our ability to create a variety of dynamic moves and chain them together into a routine that we could run over and over again. In that case, the robot's control system still has to make lots of critical adjustments on the fly to maintain balance and posture goals, but the was not sensing and reacting to its environment. So, I think this was the big thing that stood out to me when I first read through the article. The idea of engineering perception. It's an idea that I had never really thought about before, but now today I think is fundamental to the idea of engineering intelligence in robots. Because, I mean, if the robot is leveraging perception, I understand that to mean that it has the ability to make decisions based off of organic interactions encountered in whatever environment it's in. But to be clear, it does say in the article that Atlas is now leveraging perception much more heavily, not that it's completely or solely using perception to drive its movements. It says, "In this iteration of Parkour, the robot is adapting behaviors in its repertoire based on what it sees. This means the engineers don't need to pre-program jumping motions for all possible platforms and gaps the robot might encounter. Instead, the team creates a smaller number of template behaviors that can be matched to the environment and executed online." This is a pretty big deal. Without perception, Atlas was running its routine blind, as long as the environment was kept more or less completely static. The robot would do okay, but obviously that's a major limitation. What Atlas is doing in this new video is still somewhat limited, in the sense that it's still relying on template behaviors created by humans rather than doing true dynamic planning. But this represents a lot of progress. Now, one other thing that's worth paying attention to is how Boston Dynamics thinks of humanoid robots. They believe they're interesting from a couple of different perspectives, most importantly being that they capture our vision of a go-anywhere, do-anything robot of the future. Now, for the most part, Boston Dynamics, they operate kind of in the shadows. Every once in a while, we'll see a story about them pop up in the news with an update on the technology they're developing, but I wouldn't say that Boston Dynamics is a household name just yet. On the other hand, one company that seems to stay in the headlines, whether it's about their cars or their stock price, is Tesla. And with Tesla's mission to speed up the world's transition to sustainable energy, I'm interested in learning more about how their upcoming plans to develop their version of a humanoid robot will help them achieve their goal. From CNET, Elon Musk unveils Tesla Bot, a humanoid robot that uses vehicle AI. It goes on to say, Tesla CEO Elon Musk on Thursday unveiled a humanoid robot called the Tesla bot that runs on the same artificial intelligence used by Tesla's fleet of autonomous vehicles. Yeah, I imagine that most people probably recognize Tesla from the fact that they run on battery-powered electric motors rather than combustion engines. Now, the added fact that their cars come standard with the hardware that has allowed for full self-driving capabilities to begin being rolled out via over-the-air software updates makes the vehicles specifically distinctive as well. Now, I'm actually not sure where exactly they are in the rollout of their full self-driving software. But yeah, every Tesla has eight cameras around the outside of the car, continuously collecting data to assist a driver when they've engaged the cruise control or the advanced autopilot. And I think based on what the article goes on to continue to say, it sounds like Tesla will be able to upload the collected data from their owners' vehicles into their future humanoid robots. That sounds fun. The unexpected reveal came at the end of Tesla's AI Day presentation, with Musk providing few details beyond a few PowerPoint slides. The 5-foot 8-inch robot is expected to weigh 125 pounds and will be built from lightweight materials, he said. Its head will be kitted out with the autopilot cameras used by Tesla's vehicles to sense the environment and will contain a screen to display information. Internally, it will be operating via Tesla's full self-driving computer. 3 slides detailed the robot's proposed specifications. One particular slide said the Tesla bot would eliminate dangerous, repetitive, boring tasks. And Musk provided an example, suggesting the robot could be told to go to the store and get the following groceries. Not that such a task is particularly dangerous, but you might find it repetitive and boring. Musk, prone to making bold statements about the future, riffed a little on how he envisions Tesla bot changing the future of work too. This, I think, will be quite profound, he said. Essentially, in the future, physical work will be a choice. If you want to do it, you can, but you won't need to do it. Now, I don't know if life imitates art or if art imitates life, but I do know that the robots are coming. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been another episode of Black Man Into the Wild. Have a great night.